In our fast-paced, constantly busy world, we're all doing more than ever, yet so many of us feel a gnawing emptiness within. Despite checking off our to-do lists, accumulating achievements, and striving for success, something essential seems out of reach. What is missing? We live in a society that values action, movement, and doing, yet deep down, we yearn for something more, a sense of being. This duality between the human experience defined by time-bound achievements and the essential being that transcends time and material constraints is central to our existence. Striking a balance between these two states may hold the key to a fulfilling life, yet few truly understand how to harmonize them. Today, we'll dive deeply into this often overlooked aspect of our nature, the balance between doing and being. In doing so, we may uncover hidden dimensions of life that can radically transform how we experience the world. Life focused solely on doing may keep us busy, but does it truly make us feel alive? And more importantly, how can we balance doing and being to live consciously and in tune with our true essence? The answers may be closer than you think, ready to reveal themselves when you are prepared to look inward. The nature of doing. The human dimension is rooted in action. From the moment we wake up, we are guided by desires, expectations, and goals. Our lives are oriented by what's next on the agenda, shaped by memories of the past, and fueled by dreams for the future. Doing is essential. It defines our goals, our ambitions, and our achievements. We are taught from an early age that success comes from what we accomplish and what we overcome. Society celebrates the act of pursuing dreams, gaining stability, and achieving recognition. But in this relentless race, we often become prisoners of our desires, stuck in a cycle of always chasing the next milestone. In the realm of doing, the ego plays a fundamental role. The ego is the core of our identity in this action-oriented world. It pushes us to compete, achieve, and constantly seek more. Paradoxically, it is also responsible for creating much of the dissatisfaction that fuels its own existence. The ego is nourished by conflict, obstacles, and the drama of unfulfilled desires. Living in this dimension means being trapped in a web of thoughts and emotions related to what has been and what could be, distancing us from the present, the only place where life truly happens. As we remain absorbed in our activities, we may find ourselves asking, is there a different way to live? Can we find peace amid constant striving? The solution lies not in abandoning our goals, but in discovering a new way to coexist with them, integrating both doing and being, the essence of being. In contrast to doing, the dimension of being is not about achieving, proving, or striving for something. Being is the silent, still essence of who we are, unchanging and eternal. It is the part of us that transcends time and circumstance, offering us a deep sense of peace and clarity. Being is present when the mind quiets, and we find ourselves immersed in the moment without the need to accomplish anything. It is simply existing, without judgment, goals, or the compulsion to control. This state of being is always available to us, waiting for us to pause, breathe, and reconnect. However, being is often overshadowed by the constant noise of doing. The mind, conditioned to focus on problems, projects, and tasks, rarely allows us access to this stillness. Despite its subtlety, being is always present, offering a refuge from the chaos of daily life and a reminder that peace does not depend on external conditions. It is a state of presence that is rooted in the only reality that truly exists, the present moment. Awakening to this dimension of being does not happen overnight. It is a journey back to our true nature, where we rediscover that we are not simply the sum of our actions, but something far greater. As we awaken, life begins to take on new meaning, and each moment is imbued with value. But how can we cultivate this presence amid the pressures of everyday life? Integrating doing and being. The key to integrating these two dimensions lies in realizing that they are not in opposition, but rather two sides of the same coin. Doing and being are complementary. and harmony can be achieved by making room for both in our lives. Modern society conditions us to believe that constant productivity is essential, but this one-sided approach distances us from our essence. By recognizing that being is as important as doing, we can live with more presence. This does not mean abandoning our goals, but rather allowing our state of being to infuse our actions, transforming the quality of everything we do. This balance begins with an awareness that doing can become more mindful, rooted in the present moment. Instead of rushing through tasks, we can bring a sense of presence to each activity. Practices like meditation and mindfulness serve as powerful tools to cultivate this awareness. Meditation allows us to experience moments of silence where doing dissolves and being emerges with clarity. With regular practice, meditation creates an internal space that enables doing and being to coexist naturally. Mindfulness, on the other hand, teaches us to remain present even during simple activities like walking, working, or interacting with others. Through mindfulness, doing becomes a reflection of our presence rather than an automatic response to external pressures. By integrating these practices, we cultivate a new way of living where action does not pull us away from being, but rather strengthens it. Challenges on the path to awakening. While the journey to balance doing and being is transformative, it is not without challenges. The ego, which thrives on control, goals, and drama, offers resistance to this new consciousness. This resistance often appears as distractions, internal conflicts, and habitual patterns that draw us back into the dimension of doing. The phone buzzes, notifications flash, and the demands of life seem to multiply the moment we attempt to pause and be present. At these moments, the ego may even whisper that slowing down is a waste of time, that there is always something more pressing to address. The ego's resistance can also manifest through emotional reactivity, with old memories, fears, or anxieties pulling us back into a familiar but limiting cycle. Overcoming these challenges requires conscious attention, rather than suppressing or fighting the ego. Mindfulness is crucial in this process, as it allows us to observe these impulses without being controlled by them. By cultivating awareness, we create a space between automatic reactions and our true presence, gradually freeing ourselves from the ego's grip. In times of conflict or difficulty, the ego is quick to react with anger, frustration, or anxiety. Yet these moments provide valuable opportunities for growth. When we can remain anchored in being, even amid chaos, we open the door to profound transformation. Every challenge becomes a chance to deepen our connection to our essential self and reduce the ego's influence, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. Awakening to the dimension of being does not mean that life's challenges will disappear. In fact, they may even intensify. The difference lies in how we respond. When anchored in being, we no longer view obstacles as mere disruptions, but as invitations to expand our consciousness. Every difficulty, whether external conflict or internal turmoil, presents an opportunity to delve deeper within ourselves and strengthen our connection to our essence. Challenges are part of the human experience, and regardless of our level of consciousness, they will continue to arise. Yet, as we awaken to being, we begin to view these moments differently. Rather than seeing them as unwanted interruptions, we recognize them as chances to practice presence. This conscious growth allows us to reframe our perception of challenges, transforming them into meaningful moments for self-discovery. When we encounter situations that trigger reactive emotions, such as anger or fear, the ego often takes over, pulling us into the cycle of doing. But if we take a moment to observe the challenge with awareness, we discover an opportunity to practice detachment and release the need for control. Instead of allowing pain or suffering to consume us, we can accept the experience as it is, finding a new way to respond that is rooted in presence rather than reaction. Embracing inner stillness. amidst life's storms. One practical example of this is when we face interpersonal conflict. In such situations, the ego instinctively seeks to defend itself, assert its position, and maintain control. But when grounded in being, we can step back, observing the situation without becoming consumed by the emotions that arise. This shift allows us to act with greater wisdom, turning conflicts into opportunities to strengthen our consciousness and inner peace. Similarly, during moments of profound loss or frustration, being offers a steady foundation. Instead of succumbing to the intensity of the pain, we can use these experiences to practice radical acceptance. Acceptance does not mean passivity. Rather, it involves understanding that resisting reality only adds layers of suffering. When we accept what is, we allow ourselves to experience life fully without the added burden of the ego's reaction. The journey toward balance is a continuous practice that requires awareness and intention. It is not achieved in a single moment but cultivated over time. Each moment offers an opportunity to harmonize doing and being, and as we integrate these dimensions, our lives begin to transform. With each step toward presence, we experience less stress, more clarity, and a sense of fulfillment that transcends external circumstances. Conclusion: awakening to a new way of being. The quest to balance doing and being is ultimately a journey of awakening, a process of returning to our essential self. By integrating these dimensions, we begin to see life not as a series of disconnected events, but as a meaningful whole. We are no longer defined solely by what we achieve or accumulate, but by our ability to be fully present in each moment. In the stillness of being, we find a profound peace that is not tied to any specific outcome or achievement. It is a state of consciousness that transforms how we perceive and experience life. By cultivating presence, we reconnect with our inner truth, discovering that we are not merely human doings, but human beings, capable of living in harmony with ourselves and the world around us.